Hello, everyone, and welcome back to You Don't Know Her, the mindset podcast, all about creating the best life for yourself, one by design, not by default. And we're absolutely delighted to welcome back Lola Louise, who gave us a fantastic time that flew by last time. So hopefully the same again. But Lola, just to remind everyone, if you've not caught that first episode, Lola is a very talented writer, filmmaker, musician an actress from the northeast of England, and we're delighted to have her on today. So today, Lola, we're going to chat a bit more to get the ball rolling about kind of our link between knowing each other, and it's a
Yeah.
local cinematographer and director of photography, Jake Yearwood, who's starting to kind of blow up and get his name about on the scene as well. So,
Yeah.
what's kind of your background with Jake? How did you meet him?
Honestly, it's like blurry to me because I feel like it was like years ago. I don't even know how we're connected. Like, I think he followed us on Instagram or
Hmm.
something, and we just ended up talking on and off and on and off. And I only met him for the first time last year,
Oh, really?
and it was unexpected. And I'm like, hi, like, I have never seen you in my life, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, we hang out a lot now, and I was with him the other day, and it was hilarious. I was introducing him properly to my favorite show because he fell asleep during the pilot episode. He was like, I was so sorry, I was really tired, and your
Yeah.
sofa's so comfy. I was like, it's
Yeah.
fine. And
Yeah.
he was sitting there, and he's just like, oh, I wonder how this was filmed. I wonder how this was filmed. And I'm just
Yeah.
sitting watching, and I think he was very shocked at some of it. I was like, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. This is the thing for Jake now. I see him and I sometimes see him watching a film and analyzing it and thinking, oh, I wonder how that shot's worked. And I wonder, and you can tell the little like cogs that are in his brain.
yeah.
But yeah, that's so funny that he's been around and he's fallen asleep. Yeah, because I'm sure he won't mind me saying that. Yeah, he has become quite good friends with you as well, and he'll come around and just come and hang out with you, won't he? And
Yeah.
yeah,
We just like watch TV shows, introduce each other to stuff and showing off his like show reel and all the behind the scenes.
yeah.
So that was fun the other day. I got to see loads. And then I got introduced to a new actor through the behind the scenes
Mm.
who I'm now talking to for
Oh,
another
amazing.
project that I'm kind of working on. I say working on, I'm more procrastinating about it and daydreaming. Yeah,
Yeah,
well, that's the way it goes.
it's good that it's going somewhere though. It's good that that initial thing's been made because I think in your mind that's half the battle. Thinking, right, okay, this is going to happen, or this is yeah. So I feel like it's going to happen at some point now, where whatever that may be. So it's great to see. And Jake's yeah, he's someone that he's shown me how much he networks and how much he gets his name about. He'll do plenty of unpaid projects across the UK just to kind of get his name about, and then pretty much always something good happens as a result of it. You know, he gets to meet one person, he maybe helps someone, and then because of that, they'll come and help him on one of his short films or something like that. So, yeah, is that kind of idea of paying it forward? Is that something you work towards as well? Just kind of helping people and knowing that it'll come back and help you as well.
Yeah, I love just working with loads of different people all the time. I feel like I don't get a network as much as other people.
Mm.
I'm kind of more reserved and I don't really like being in a room with a lot of people. It's kind of scary.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, I'll always pay it forward in any way I can and usually bring donuts or cookies or whatever. I'm honestly I've got boxes and boxes of sweets. So next
yeah.
time I'm literally going to get this whole box of sweets. I'm like, please, somebody take them.
I love chatting to someone who's from a little bit further north than me because the word cookies is not a word around here. You know, Facebook and cookies and all that. That's I
I'm
love
from Durham.
Durham. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a,
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of
originally.
it. Yeah, I'm a
Yeah,
big
everyone else laughs at us.
yeah. Where is it? Where is
Yeah.
it you live now? Is it Sunderland or
Yeah, I
yeah?
live like ironically like 5 minutes away from where I used to live, but
Okay.
that's more classed as Durham than
Yeah.
this is. There's
Yeah.
like literally a highway between us that's like just like yeah.
Yeah.
Some of my family still live that way, so
Yeah. Yeah. It's a lovely. I've only been to Durham, a handful of times really, but it's the cathedral's lovely. It's a lovely place. In fact, the Avengers were all there, weren't they? Shooting a film, shooting one of the Avengers films.
I've no idea. I
Yeah.
honestly don't take
Oh, do
I
that's
don't
it.
take notice of much. Like
Oh, really?
I was
Yeah.
kind of like completely out of it with like the Durham Circle for a long time.
Yeah.
Long story. I hate
Yeah.
going into it, so
Oh,
that would take a lot forever.
we need longer than a 20-minute episode to get through that.
Yeah, I think I've spoke about it on the Double L at one point. I'm not sure. I don't
Hmm.
know, unless that was the episode that we had to quit because my MacBook died. I don't
Oh
know.
no. Your
Yeah, I've
MacBook.
got no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's yeah, I'm sure we can get into all that. But no, just to let you know, because these are all things that Jake tells me. Jake keeps me abreast of kind of what's happening around the Northeastern filmmaking, and he tells me things of kind of big sets and what they're doing in the Northeast. And a huge one recently, fairly recently, a few years ago now, was the film 1917, the massive war film, the epic,
Yeah.
the kind of all shot to made to look, it was one continuous shot throughout the film. It was
Hmm.
a very well shot film and it was a fantastic film. But there's one particular scene in the film where the lead actor falls into water, like allowing a little waterfall or something. He ends up in a river. And yeah, as I'm kind of watching that, Jake's going to me, "Oh, that was at Tees Barrage, that scene, by the way, if you know." And I was like, "No way."
No, oh, I didn't know that. I remember that scene, I think.
Yeah, yeah. It's so, like I say, because you watch this film, and that scene just flows so well. Like you can't. It's
Hmm.
Jake's explained it to me, explained how they've done it, and the kind of the camera trickery to like kind of stop it and start it again. But it's made to look like it's all one shot, and it's like it is quite incredible. And they've cut to T's Barrage here for this
Hmm.
like one little bit, and you're like, wow, that is like. Yeah. So whoever's been behind the scenes of kind of, location scouting and everything for that film, I love the fact that yeah, we've got a little slice of Teesside in this massive film.
Yeah, honestly, I love when like stuff just flows so simultaneously and
Yeah.
like smart transitions and stuff like that between. I absolutely adore. Like sometimes I'm sitting there and I'm like, I love that.
Yeah.
I'm just like obsessed.
Yeah. Yeah, it's beautiful to watch. It's yeah, film. I mean, for me personally, one of my favorite actors is Joaquin Phoenix. And obviously he's done some great work and won the Oscar for Joker and things like that. And he talks a lot about how he doesn't like to elevate himself above other people, but how he thinks he's just blessed to have the life he has because it's film. And he said that's what everyone in when he gave his Oscar acceptance speech, that's what everyone in the room was there. It's for the shared love of film. So I think that's the thing for me. I mean, filmmaking isn't going to be, a personal goal of mine, but it is, it's good to know kind of what your goals and dreams are, and just to bring as much of that into your life as well. I think that's something that you resonate with. Is that true for yourself?
Yeah, I feel like my biggest dream is to help other people,
Mm,
and that's why I'm always telling stories that haven't been told yet.
mm,
Just like the next one, which I've not really spoke about, is about my journey with my disability and just the fact that it's not took seriously in
yeah,
healthcare. You get excluded. They
mm,
don't believe you.
yeah,
I had to beg. I was begging for 2 years to be took seriously because
yeah,
I knew there was something wrong. And they were like, "Oh, you're just anxious. You're
mm,
just this. You're just that." And I was right in the end. I
yeah,
was right. And it's just
yeah,
like,
yeah,
yeah, it just needs to be talked about. And
yeah,
I want to show awareness because nobody knows what I'm going through. And people are like, "Oh, she's having a good day. It's fine. Like,
yeah,
there's nothing wrong with her." Well, it's the opposite because I'm never going to show people.
yeah,
Like, my body is so temperamental at the moment. Like, I woke up this morning and this is what it loves to do this. I have marks all over my body, like they just randomly show up overnight, and the
mhm,
scar, and I've got scars everywhere because there's nothing I can do about it, and it's
yeah.
horrible.
Yeah, it's it's very difficult. I think this is the thing that sometimes the GPs are that the general practitioners aren't, that they have a general idea of kind of what you're going through, but you know better than them what your body's feeling, and what you're going through. I've got the same thing with a friend who suffered with and misdiagnosed with endometriosis, which is very
Hmm.
serious. condition for
Yeah.
10 years before a doctor finally listened to it and said, actually, you've got endometriosis. Like for 10 years, it was a case of,
Mm.
oh, you're just going through regular pain, don't worry about it. So, I mean, we don't have to go into it if you don't want to, but are you comfortable talking about specifically what it is and if anyone's going through the same thing as you, kind of, can you give them advice of how to speak to the doctors about that and how to kind of make that situation better for themselves?
Yeah, so I've got functional neurological disorder, which was formerly known as conversion disorder. That ironically, like the show that I love was actually talking about it, but
Mm,
like in its previous form, where they didn't realize that it's more than just a psychiatric condition, it's like fully neurological.
mm,
And it's happened like I had it 10 years and
mm,
I was going through so much at like a certain time that I didn't realize what was going on. I just was like, oh, it must be a reaction to how I'm feeling. And it wasn't, and it just got worse and worse and worse.
mm,
And the major signs for me was hallucinations and delusions. Like I was losing it and I was crying all the time
mm,
because I was like, what is going on in my head? Like it's so wrong. But
mm,
then I've had tremors. I've got like it sucks when you really want to do photography, but you've got tremors really bad.
mm. Yeah.
And it started in my hands. It went to my legs the other year, which was really not fun. My legs lock, which I tried to do that the other day, and I was like, "You are not doing that."
Mm,
So I literally purposely kicked it out because I was like, "I'm not going to sit there with my leg locked together for
yeah.
3 hours or so."
Yeah.
But then I ended up getting in blackout. I had blackouts, like full on blackouts, dissociation. It was horrible, like
Mm,
shaking so badly that I ended up throwing up for 8 hours. Like the longest time is nearly 12 hours,
yeah.
a whole night. And then I was delusional and hallucinating at the exact same time. It
Yeah.
was just, it just goes so bad. And
Yeah.
I'm lucky that I'm on meds at the moment that's targeting most of the symptoms. But the one that it doesn't is called dysautonomia, which can be a separate condition, but I'm pretty sure it's in with this.
Mm,
And that's mostly about it's the dysfunction of the autonomic system. So that's what controls everything in your body. So my heart rate is always high, no
mm,
matter what I'm doing. I'll be sitting on my bed and it'll be like, oh yeah, 111, 112. And it just goes up. And then I get really dizzy and I'm like, oh, I hate this.
mm.
Vertigo. I woke up the other day with vertigo and everything was moving in the room, which was
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that just leaves us off balance.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's so it's what you're saying speaks so true to what I've spoken about with other people, and it's the fact that you are going through this and you know how you feel, and sometimes people don't believe you, and even medical professionals might think this isn't like that. Yeah, this girl doesn't know what she's talking about, whereas you obviously do. You're the one who's experiencing it. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah,
Yeah, I do my own research too because
yeah,
I feel like there's not enough research, and that's why I'm doing my project. And I'm also going to raise money at the same time to try and raise money for the FND charity so more research can be done. I mean, they're making progress, but it's not really good enough because it's like a development every so often isn't. But then there's no treatment, there's no cure, you're stuck with it.
mm,
And
yeah,
it's just like, thanks.
yeah,
I've been waiting for help for, I got diagnosed a year ago and I'm like, it's been 8 months. Why haven't I heard from this like other service they've referred us to? I ring them up and they say, oh, we don't have that. We don't have your referral. Like,
mm,
what? I'm
mm,
like, my referral's missing. They're like, we haven't had one. So then I had to go back and now I'm right at the bottom of the list. So
yeah. Yeah, it's
I give up.
yeah, I don't want to get too kind of dark on this podcast, but a friend of mine was categorized as risk one for mental health illnesses. He'd attempted to take his own life, and
Same.
yeah, and he was put onto a 6 month waiting list to see anyone. Whereas you look at someone with a physical condition, if it's physically we can see there's a fracture or something like that, then it's like straight through. We'll rush you straight through. But this guy, unfortunately, as a result of being on the 6 month waiting list, that was too long for him, and he has actually taken his own life, unfortunately, which is horrible. But it's a lot of good has come out of that for the wider world is and it's becoming more of a thing and this has raised awareness for a thing and Sheffield he's from Sheffield and Sheffield United Football Club are starting to be really involved with spreading that as well, so yeah, it's a very difficult subject to talk about, but it's an important message, I think. So yeah, I want to echo what you're saying, Lola, that
Yeah, it just
That
makes us feel really sad.
yeah,
Honestly, it breaks my heart so much.
yeah, that I do feel so much yeah, so much sympathy for anyone going through anything like this internally because there's there is help there. It's just the way that the world is at the moment and the way the NHS is being funded at the moment that it doesn't have time to do everything it needs to do. It's one of the biggest employers in the world, the NHS. It's huge, but it just can't do everything, and it's been neglected a bit in recent years. And I know in COVID, nurses were going through mental health struggles themselves as well. So yeah, so it's just yeah. Anyone who's struggling with anything at all, just reach out to the resources you've got. Reach out to your friends, reach out to your families, reach out to Samaritans. There's all these sort of places online. There's so much help that's there, and people do want to help you, and they don't want to. They might not even think you're struggling. You know, we look at Matthew Perry, Robin Williams,
Yeah,
Liam Payne, all these massive names in the world of entertainment that the fans um, I mean, recently I was watching an interview with Barry Humphries, who's passed away. I don't think it was anything related to mental health, but he was one of the funniest comedians on the circuit, and he was interviewing with Dermot O'Leary and Alison Hannigan. Yeah, and not Alison Hannigan. You know what I mean, the one on
yeah,
this morning. But Alison Hannigan's from How I Met Your Mother. I thought I knew that name, but Alison Hammond, that's the one. So.
yeah.
Alison Hammond and Dermot O'Leary. And he on the show he talks about, and he's very genuine, and you can tell he's true with what he's saying. But he talks about how, despite this fact that he's this massive star and he uses other characters to get his message out there, he still has self-doubt and he still has anxiety, even though he's on stage and he's talking about this to people. And yeah, he says this to the host, to Alison and Dermot, and he says, you might not believe it, but I'm someone with, I need an audience. I need people to love me because, sometimes I don't love myself. And that was kind of his message. And they both kind of laughed at it because I don't think either of them actually believed it. They thought it was one of his jokes. They thought,
Mhm.
how can this person be as funny as they are and as successful as they are? How can they be not seeing themselves? But it's true. It's true with so many celebrities and famous people that, like we keep on saying, they are people. They all
Mhm.
obviously have their own issues. So yeah, sorry, it's probably got a bit dark there, but
Yeah, no,
I think it was an important message. So
yeah,
yeah. So yeah, again, just to anyone, yeah, that is probably the biggest advice I've probably given on this podcast
mm,
so far is just to understand that you're not alone. You look at social media and you look at people in your life and you might compare yourselves and think, you know what, this person's got a great life. They're out, they're in the sun, they're on holiday all the time. Everything they do seems to be great. What you don't think is everything you see on social media is the hand-picked highlights of that person's life. You don't see all the background stuff of all the mundane stuff they have to do so that they can achieve the highlights, and you compare your life to that. So don't, like there'll be people who will look at you. I spoke to my brother recently and I said how envious I was of him in certain aspects of his life,
mhm.
and he said he was envious of me in certain aspects of my life. So it's such a mindset thing, and it's a personality thing, and yeah, I have dominated that there, Lola, but I think that's probably is a good time for us to wrap up
Yeah,
actually, if you don't mind. But
yeah,
it's been a
that's
really
fine.
I wasn't expecting when we started talking about Jake, 20 minutes ago. I didn't expect it to go this way, but that's the beauty of this
I
of
mean, we
this
could do another
conversation, isn't it?
one. I
Yeah,
mean, we could finish it. I've got
yeah.
time.
Have you got time? Yeah,
I've got
yeah,
time.
we'll sign off. We'll sign off and we'll check back in. But yeah, one more time, everyone. This is the fantastic Lola Louise. She is yeah, going places. She's a fantastic person and wants to help everyone as much as she can. So one more time, Lola, where can people find you if they want to do that?
Lola Maria on mostly Instagram, and Maria has two R's.
2 hours in Maria because why not?
Yeah. My relative chose Maria somehow in the
Yeah.
family tree.
I was
So,
wondering this. I searched Lola Louise and your IMDb page comes up and it's like I think is it Lola Maria on IMDb as well? Or,
no,
no, is it Lola
no.
Louise on IMDb? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I definitely saw Lola Maria at some point high in the search algorithm. I was thinking, is that still Lola Louise? So I was thinking, is that?
Yeah, it's so people can find us easier.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Why not? It's yeah. Lola Louise, Lola Maria, Visionette
Who
Media, good little
cares,
show. Whatever it
really?
is, as long as you can find her, there'll be links in the description. Go and give her a watch, give her a follow, and yeah, I think she'll have some important advice to share with you. So one more time, thank you so much, Lola, and yeah, we'll catch up again very soon, I'm sure. Take care, bye.